Thank you. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
We got a great theme tonight, a dream come true. And I was fortunate enough to have one of my dreams come true. And that dream was to sail off through tropical waters into the sunset. How many of you, show of hands, have had a similar dream? Yeah, we all have. And one of the questions I get most often is, Don, what was it like? What was it like living the dream? Not knowing what day of the week it was. There were times I didn't know what month it was. So tonight, I would like to share with you just a little taste of that. Tonight, I'd like to share with you a day in the life of living the dream. I'd roll out of bed, put on the coffee, make my way up onto the deck. The boat would be anchored in a small bay in the Sea of Cortez. The water is perfectly flat, calm, clear, warm, blue-green waters. The sky blue, not a cloud in it, and the sun coming up over the hill. It's going to be another hot day. So I grab my soap, take my towel, put it over the rail, and I dive overboard for my morning bath. Now there are 4 or 5 other boats in the bay. Some of them are friends we've been cruising with. Other of them are just friends we haven't met yet. I notice Sandy and Melissa are up on deck, so I swim on over to their boat. I'm not a very good swimmer. I swim on over, and we discuss what we're going to do. We decide we are going to go to the cactus garden, hike over to the salt flats before it gets too hot. So I swim back to the boat, take a quick freshwater rinse, get the salt off, and I tell Terry what the plan is for the day. Now, Terry is my cruising partner. Terry and I both had about half as much money as it took to make the dream come true. So we pooled our resources and went cruising together. So Terry and I jump in the dinghy. We speed on over, pick up Sandy and Melissa. They jump into the boat. We cruise ashore, park the dinghy, and start our truck to the cactus garden. On the way, we come across the village. 5 or 6 homes. One of them's a grocery store. We go in. There are shelves in the living room. They're about half filled with boxes and cereal, some canned goods, paper products. We pick up a few things, and we go on our way. We hike a little further. We get to the cactus garden. And I'm not sure whether this was man-made or it was naturally happened. But it was about the size of half of a football field, and there were cactuses laid out everywhere. Some of them small little basketball size, some of them 3 or 4 times my height. Some of them were in bloom. They were just gorgeous. Well, we spent some time there, and we decided that to be on our way to the salt flats, and we followed the road. Well, it was more of just 2 ruts in the middle of the desert. We're following the road. It comes along the curve. We make the corner, and there's a bull, a big black El Toro bull. He's coming our direction. And we're standing there. 2 parties are looking at each other, and we're going, okay, now what? So we kind of move to one side, and he kind of moves to the other side, and we kind of pass each other an arm's distance. We kind of just watch each other go by. And we go on our way. Well, we go a little further, we get to the salt flats. Now, the salt flats are basically huge shallow pools where the tide would come in, fill them, the sun would evaporate the water, and it would leave the salt so they could harvest the salt. Well, we had spent some time there. We made our way back to the dinghy. We're making our way back, and Sandy decides, let's go scurfing. Now, scurfing is like water skiing with a surfboard. And so we're bombing all around the bay, all around the other boats, and the other people are coming out. Come on, let's play. So we get to meet all our new friends that we just met. So we decide that we invite everybody. Well, you guys all got to come over for dinner. So now we've got 12 people coming for dinner. We better go get some food. the toys away, grab our snorkel gear, jump into the dinghy. Melissa decides she's not going to go with us, but she does have a request. She says, guys, no more lobster. We've had lobster like every day for... Well, you know, if it swims in the bag, we're not going to turn it away. We got lots of mouths to feed today. So we jump in, leave the bay, go up around the point. We anchor the boat on the far side of the point, and it's about a 100-yard swim to the reef. And we're swimming. I got fins now. Swim, and we are along the shore. There's a mother seal and 2 pups. And they're sunning themselves, and we're swimming, not paying too much attention. And then all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the sea lion comes, like lightning, right up to my mast, turns and brushes the whole length of my body, and is gone. And I had a realization. I'm not the top of the food chain out here. I think she was just trying to see if we were any threat to her pups. Well, we continue on our way, get to the reef. We're fishing away. We got about enough fish to feed a dozen people now. And Sandy decided one more dive. So one more dive, we go down, and I come over this rock, and here comes Sandy up the other side of the rock, and he's got this fish like this. And it's from here to here. It's a big trigger fish. And I'm going, okay, we now definitely have enough fish for tonight. So we haul all these fish back to the boat, and we start preparing the evening meal. The music comes on, cocktails are starting to flow, people are starting to show up. And dinner is kind of a potluck. Everybody brings pretty much what they have. Some person might bring a salad, other people bring rice and beans, somebody else will find a dessert, bring that along. And we're cooking up fish. And there we go. We're having a great meal, lots of fun. Afterwards, after the meal, we'd sit there. A couple of people played instruments. I'm not too musically inclined. If you've ever heard me sing, lucky you. But we'd play music on into the night. Then, as the evening wore on, we'd say goodbye to our new friends, goodbye to our old friends, and I'd slowly make my way down and into my bunk, where I'd grab my journal and I'd start scribing all the day's activities and what has happened. And as the tequila would start to take a hold, I'd scribe, just another day of living the dream. Thank you.